Popularly known as the Dhananjayans, Sri V.P. Dhananjayan and wife Shanta Dhananjayan have become a legendary dancing couple during their own lifetime. Having been disciples of Rukmini Devi Arundale of Kalakshetra, they have established their own academy, Bharatanatyam, where they have trained over 2,000 students. They have received innumerable awards, national and international, and have served as role models to many an aspiring dancer. I extend a warm welcome to both of you to inDialog.
Namaskaram.
Namaste. Do you remember the first day you met Shanta?
Yes, that's, how can we forget? I can't forget. That's a very romantic story. Yes.
Wow. Tell us about it.
The first girl I met in Kalakshetra was Shanta.
Okay.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, wow.
When Ashan, our guru, Chandu Panikar, was taking me and Balagopal, the first day we arrived in Madras, and we were just walking through the Theosophical garden. It's a beautiful place, just like Vishwamitra taking Rama and Lakshmana through Mithila, and Rama meeting Sita. While walking, these girls, all the little girls, were playing around in that garden, and suddenly our guru called to Shanta and said, "Shanta, come here." She came, this little girl with a little power frock, and they brought two boys. These boys do not know anything. They can't speak any language. So you are the only one contact. You are the only one who can speak to them in Malayalam.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first introduction to Shanta.
I heard a very interesting story about your getting married. It was with some opposition that you, I've read somewhere that you got married on stage.
Yes.
How did that happen? That sounds exciting.
See, we were playing Rama and Sita. That been in class we were together, and we were cast against in the production. Right. Rukmini Devi. This incident, probably you must have read it in some of the newspapers. It was in Bombay, I think.
Yes, it was in Bombay.
After one of those Sita Swayamvaram, the wedding of.
I was doing the role of Sita that day.
And
yes.
After everything was over, and when we came backstage, some impulse, I thought, I had the mala, the Navaratna mala, which Sita had on Rama. The Navaratna mala I took, and in front of everybody I said, I put it on the and everybody was watching, and she
that
was
so embarrassing
those days.
Me, in front of all my seniors and teachers, everybody, he did this.
That literally became true.
Oh, that is so sweet. Well, you would have had to get married in front of all of them.
Yeah.
So this was like saying that she's mine. Yes, I'm going to get married to her. So what? That kind of thing he did.
So did your artistic opinions ever differ from his? And if so, how did you deal with that?
Mostly not, because we work, very well together, I think. Or sometimes we even think of the same idea, same line sometimes,
Then
So
since we grew together, I think the artistic aesthetic
one of the
sense that
reasons.
we imbibed from Rukmini Devi Kalakshetra, I think that kept us going together. All through. So we didn't have
There was
any
absolutely
clash
no.
as such.
And
Whatever-
also we knew, our regions. Like I knew where he would excel, and so I knew where I could do better.
Yeah,
So
we have perfect understanding of
That's
what
Your strengths
we
and
are
weaknesses.
strengthened. Yes, that's it.
चलयसि विक्रमणे बलिम् अद्भुत वामना पदनखनीर जनित जनपावन केशवधृत वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे हरे जय जगदीश हरे गगारि मगरि पसारि रि रि ग ग ग ग रि मगरि ग रि नि da pa maga sagari maga pa ma da pa sani magari sani da pa di sani da pa ma da pa magari chal.
Going back to your early days as a male dancer, it must have been hard surviving in the world, the real world, because we all have to eat and live. How did you manage to get through that time in your life?
Well, I think I entered the Bharatanatyam arena at the right time, I think, because that was the time Kalakshetra was really projecting the male dancers as male dancers with all their masculine power. And there was a time when the male dancers used to be very effeminate. That was the stigma with which everybody rejected male dancers. But with the Kalakshetra bringing male dancers as male dancers, and people have started recognizing male as a male dancer, not an effeminate dancer. So when both of us started sharing that masculinity and femininity together on the same stage, they were able to associate dance, the Lasya and Nrita, very well, and they could see both in the same. So that way, I think, and one thing we have to remember is to be a successful male dancer, you should excel in everything. Unless you are extremely good in technique and bhava, everything, it's very difficult to sustain on stage and sustain the interest of the onlooker. Whereas, of course, for the female, they have so many things, other attractive things to keep their
which is true. Which is true. I agree with you. It's very difficult to be a successful male dancer.
Yes,
it takes a long time. That absolutely.
And one thing, male dance, as I can very bold say, we should be very confident of your art, confident of yourself, and you should be proud of your profession. I'm very proud of my profession. I never say, I don't sulk saying, oh, I am a dancer. No, I said, yes, I am a dancer. I am proud of my profession, and I do my profession as a doctor does his profession.
You also conduct camps in the US on a regular basis every year in Virginia. What do you feel are the differences in teaching students here versus students in India?
The difference in teaching, well, we have to adapt certain things. We have adapted also. We have learned a lot by teaching these kids here as well as at home. At home, we can be very, very strict, as you said earlier. Strict in a sense, everything has to be like that. And the children are tuned to that kind of discipline. They listen to it. And, they don't even question the teacher like that. But here we had to adopt a new method where give and take. We with love and care we have to teach them. At the same time, we have to be disciplined. We have to discipline them with strict, imparting them the strict disciplines and also the strict technique. Make them practice. We found that the children are so intelligent here, and we found they are very receptive when you give it to them in their own way. So we have slowly try to inculcate in them the values of Indian culture and like that. And the way we did was we gave them whatever question they asked us, whatever problems they had, we tried to solve them right in the earnest way in their face itself. So that way they were more open to whatever we said.
Recently you worked with the Ohio dance company on your ballet adventures of Mowgli. How did you adapt, or did you have to adapt your dancing to work with dancers from a different style such as ballet?
Well, one thing we have to always remember, when the two good calibered artists are working together, there is no difference. They think alike. Only when there is disparity between the two, then only the question of adaptation comes. In our case, absolutely we kept our identity without any compromise whatsoever, because they are also highly calibered ballet dancers, highly trained professionals, and from our side we were all in the same level, So we kept our identity, and we very beautifully amalgamated the two two techniques. When that is why even in Mowgli, when we started the first scene itself, we kept the dance style separate, but as the story went along, it merged like that, and people, the onlookers, thought both are the same styles, while the identity was kept. So we worked very well, and of course it took almost 2 years for us to plan and rehearse, and it was a very, very rewarding experience for both the Ohio Ballet Company as well as Bharatanatyam.
What is Bhaskara?
Bhaskara is our dream child.
It means the sun. Bhaskara.
Bharatiya Samskarika Kalarangam. In Sanskritam, Bharatiya, Indian, Samskarika is culture, Kala is art, Rangam is the forum. It's a cultural art and art integrated educational forum. Bhaskara means sun. Sun is the life for human life. So the idea, the concept is art give luster to education. So that's why I say it art integrated education. We need education in sense not the usual academic and just a degree, getting a degree, but real education, to becoming a real human. That's what I meant to the concept with which I started Bhaskara in Kerala. And this is going to be an academy with art integrated education. Art also will be there, academic education also will be there. Until the first standard to the 10th standard, they will have curriculum, art curriculum along with the academic education. And then after 10th, anybody who is inclined to make art as a career, they can be full-time and they can take a degree. So the modern world, you need this kind of an arranged or systematic syllabus and systematic. But at the same time, the performing arts needs an extra dimension to all of learning. That could be achieved only through a Gurukulam type of training. Gurukulam means living with the masters and imbibing the art from them.
What do you think about the contemporary Bharatanatyam? There are many people who are using Bharatanatyam movements
and call it contemporary.
And don't want to call it Bharatanatyam. Is that what you mean?
Well, Bharatanatyam has been a contemporary all through the ages. Every time there has been changes, from the start of Bharata's Natya Shastra, Akritya, Cheshtaya, Chinnair, Jatya, Vijnaya, Vastutaha, Swayam, Vitarkya, Kartavyam, Natya Shastram, Budhaihi. Bharata himself in Natya Shastra says, according to the time, everything has to change, according to the imagination of the dancer, according to the imagination of the teacher, things should change. So we've been changing, and with for
changes occur automatically.
And so it has always been contemporary, and a lot of things have happened in Bharatanatyam within the last 50 years we have seen. And we ourselves have done a lot of innovations, lot of creativity, like us, so many others have done. So there's been a big leap in Bharatanatyam repertoire and their concept, their presentation. So it has been keeping a contemporary image all through, and there are some deliberate attempt by some people, unscrupulous people, saying that Bharatanatyam is very old
Dead
age
art.
or dead art,
They call it a
tradition.
dead art,
And if the moment you say call tradition, they think tradition is dead. It's not. Tradition is flowing always. It's like the waters of Ganga. It flows every day. It changes every day, but the Ganga remains the same. The water, the quality of the water is the same. So like that, there is no
I
fear
don't
of
think
any.
anybody should make any hue and cry about Bharatanatyam, that no Bharatanatyam. Why not? There is Bharatanatyam. You do something new. You always do something. If you are a Bharatanatyam artist, naturally you'll make use of
One thing,
your idea.
Bharatanatyam has the deepest, technically, it has everything, a large amount, it's innumerable varieties of combinations, things like that. So everybody can draw from Bharatanatyam anything you want. So with the technique of Bharatanatyam, you can create anything modern, anything ancient, anything. So that is the greatness of Bharatanatyam, which nobody can deny.
How can anyone say Bharatanatyam is a dead art? You can never
And
say
even
that.
Westerners, Western ballet dance, they are all drawing a lot of inspiration from Bharatanatyam. And, especially because that is the one style that has kept the identity of Indian ethos and Indian culture. That is the three aspects of theatre: Nritya and Natya. The pure dance aspect of the abstract dance, which they call modern, and the Nritya, the communicative art. No other art forms have the communicative capacity of Bharatanatyam dance or Bharatanatyam technique. And Natya, elaborate theatrical aspects.
Can you demonstrate a little bit of your dancing for us?
I'll do that. I'll do a small piece, the Vadugala Mavaya. It's a very evocative, expressive piece, which is one of my forte, and which made me fame also, gave me fame a lot. So I am devoting it to that character. Nandanar is a downtrodden and a devotee of Shiva, and he's asking Shiva whether I could enter the sanctum at Chidambaram. Finally the story goes that he is submerged with the Lord. That's what we are all aiming always. So I am that devotee of Shiva. Sing? Okay.
Vargalamo ayya nan vargalamo ayya undan arugil நின்று கொண்டு ஆடவும் பாடவும் நான் வருகலாமோ ஐயா பூமியில் பூலயனாய் பிறந்தேனே ஒரு புண்ணியம் செய்யாமல் இருந்தேனே சுவாமி உன் சந்நிதி அடைந்தேனே பவ சாகரம் தன்னையும் கடந்தேனே கரை கடந்தேன் சரணம் அடைந்தேன் தில்லை வரதா எந்தன் பரிதாபமும் பாபமும் தீரவே நானங்கே வருகலாமோ ஐயா.
Short only.
Didn't complete the whole thing.
Excellent. Well, if you, either of you, were to live your life again, do you think you would do anything different?
Yes.
Okay.
Shanta.
I want to be a musician. Not that I regret being a dancer, but I love music. I think I should take another janma, like another lifetime.
Well, why not now? You're such a beautiful musician.
Not enough. No, this is not enough at all. I'm there to feel the music, I know, but I can't, reach that height. But I'm sure one day I'll be a good musician. I have to take another life, or maybe a couple of lives more.
Okay.
Probably my inclination. I started as a child poet. That was my artistic sparkle at the beginning. Probably I am very creative, and my imagination. With that, I should be something like
You're a poet?
A great poet like Kalidasa.
Right.
How would you like history to remember you?
Well, like a good human being who had done something
Worthwhile.
worthwhile to the world.
What else?
That's all. Anyway, if our Bhaskara comes up and if it is established, people will remember us that we have contributed something towards the next generation.
Yes.
That's the big monument which we are trying to leave behind.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskara.
Namaste.